Good morning and good afternoon for all of you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being connected today. Welcome to a new session of the Bizagi Process Professor. My name is Kevin Guerrero, and I am going to be with you sharing all the information and all the session that I have prepared for you today. Today, we will be talking about one really amazing and interesting topic, that it will be how can you use Bizagi if you are interested in define, generate, and customize documents using Bizagi. If this is the first time that you are joining us in one of the Bizagi's Process Professor, let me show you and let me talk to you a little bit about how our program works, what are the great advantages that you can have, and how basically, or what can you expect from our today's session. So the first thing is that the Process Professor, it is a program that we have launched last year during 2021. And our main objective is to create a community and create a closer relationship with customers, partners, prospects, and anyone that is interested in this space of process automation, or even to learn a little bit more about our Bizagi platform. And the idea is that we are going to have every second Thursday of the month, one session for the Bizagi Process Professor. We will have one session in English and we will have one session in Spanish. So anyone can join. It is completely free. You can register always for free. And every single month we will be talking about different topics that are interested for you. Okay? We have identified, or our objective over this is that we want to give you insightful information about what market is seeing, what are the trendings, what the big analysts are identified directly when they are analyzing the market. Where are we going? What are the big trendings on the market? What are the new features that we got in Bizagi? And in some cases, as our today's session, we will be talking about specific Bizagi topics that we believe that are really interested for our community and that maybe you can find or use in your own projects. Every single session of the Process Professor, we will try to have always this structure. The times can change from session to session, but always we will have to try the same 3 sections. The first section is that we are going to be talking about one topic. This is going to be a theoretical part where we will see what the market is saying, what are the benefits, what are the value for the business, how we can identify or how can we use some of the elements that we saw about or regarding the topic that we're covering during every session. On the second part, we will have always a live demonstration. It means that for us, it's really important that you see how actually Bizagi works. From our products, we want to show you how can you use it, how can you explore them, where you have to click, how it looks like as a final result. And something important about this is that our sessions can be from any Bizagi product, any one or any of the products that we got in our platform. So it can be from Bizagi Modeler, from Bizagi Studio, from Bizagi Automation Service, Business Insight, or even Artificial Intelligence. So in every single session, it is probably that you see different products and you can actually get used or understand a little bit more of the different products that we have. And at the end, what we are going to have always, it is going to be one space that is going to be completely free for you to do questions, right? To ask questions from me. And something important about this last part is that it doesn't have to be related or regarding about the topic that we're covering on that session. What's the meaning of this? That if today we will be talking about how to document, how to generate, and how to customize documents in Bizagi, but you have a question about how to create a process diagram, or you don't have clear one of the gateways of the BPMN notation, or you're trying to do an integration through one of our connectors and you don't know how to do it, or you want to build a widget, or whatever you want, or whatever you have as a question regarding one implementation in Bizagi, you can use this last space to actually make it. When we got into that point, you're going to find in our GoToWebinar on the right side, you're going to have one section that is actually about questions. During our session, you can start typing your questions over that box. And when we get into this last part, I am going to go back and I'm going to review all the questions that you have and try to answer in the best way. So if this is the first time, relax, enjoy, have a good time, and let's start seeing how our session is going to work today. So the title of our session today is Define, Generate, and Customize Documents with Bizagi. So my main objective today is that you understand why it's so important in general for an organization to have documents completely digitized, right? How we can include our processes in Bizagi actually to help you in the organization to generate these documents or to digitize these documents in a much better way. And the agenda that I have prepared for you today is that I would like to start with a general perspective of the market and process evolution. Why, for the current processes that we are having right now, from the way on how customers and end users are interactive with our organizations, it is important to have an evolution in our processes. Then we're going to see and we are going to highlight the main benefits of or the importance of having actually documents completely digitized. We're going to see the benefits of actually digitizing documents. And at the end, we're going to get into all the details about how, with the feature that we got in Bizagi that will help you through this whole path that is called Bizagi Document Templates, works. How they work, what we can achieve with them, what kind of considerations you must have, and even some steps that you must follow in order to have your document completely generated in Bizagi. Okay, so let's start. And I like to start always my presentations in the process, Professor, with some important quotes or some important discovery in the market, right? In this case, I am using one study that was conducted by Forrester in 2021 that has a title, How Digital Document Process Are Shifting from Best Practice to a Business Necessity, right? And I like to start with this one because I found really interesting all the discoveries that Forrester did in this study. And they highlight a lot something important that was, look, companies that exclusively use digital document processes are seeing 5 times more improvements in maintaining the business continuity than companies with minimal or no digital document process. Okay? So why I believe this is so important, guys, because even with the title, when you see that now we're shifting from best practice to business necessity, I think has a huge impact. Maybe a couple years ago, maybe some years ago, having documents in a digital way or in a digital manner was something good, right? So was something cool. Maybe the first time that we went to a bank and instead of having to complete one of these formats of many pages and paper-based to actually ask for a credit card, and instead of that, they give us, I don't know, a digital format, or we even have to do a signature in one of these pads or take a picture. Even in that point was like, well, this is cool, right? But now, and with the recent years, what we have seen is this is not anymore cool. This is a necessity. We need to guarantee that we have this if we want to actually assure our business continuity, right? If we are not able to follow or to continue our businesses in this way, we are going to suffer. And one of the key aspects that will guarantee to us that we're able to continue with this business continuity is digital document processes. How, as companies, we can guarantee that our documents are digital, that we are not storing anymore, right? This huge storage of documents, of papers. How all of this is going to change. I would like to start with something, and is we have seen definitely the business are evolving, right? It's not something that is new. It's not something that maybe we just find out with this presentation. No, business are evolving. But the big question, and something that I want that all of you think about it, is like, if your business is evolving, are your processes evolving in the same speed, right? And I want that everyone do an analysis, or that together we do an analysis of something that I think that it will help us a lot to understand some of the points that I want to do on today's presentation. And it's the way on how human beings has evolved to achieve some objectives within the history is amazing, right? And I want us to use as an example. This is just one of maybe many examples that came to my mind when I want to highlight this one. But one of the examples that I want is imagine or try to think for 1 second the simple act of getting ice, right? So right now, today, if in this moment during the meeting, I told you, hey guys, you have 2 minutes to just go and have something to drink. Please drink something with ice. Probably all of you will do something as simple as go to your kitchen, open the fridge, and just get the ice from the fridge. That's it, period, right? But many years ago, this was not the case. And if we want to get ice, as simple as that, we had to just go to the harvesting, right? This ice harvesting that were people going out into frozen lakes and then try to cut big pieces of ice to try to get ice for our house or for our points, right? However, this was not the best solution. This was not maybe what everyone was wanted. And at some point, there was a big jump. There was someone that say, hey, it's not fine, it's not good, it's not cool, but people is getting out almost too frozen to death just to get ice for people. So what if instead of that, we do an evolution? And we call this evolution ICE 2.0. And in this ICE 2.0, instead of getting all the big and massive ice blocks from lakes, from frozen lakes, what if we maybe build some machines that allow us to create these big blocks of ice, but now in a factory, right? And now we were having, big ice factories. So it was much better than ICE 1.0. We didn't have to wait for winter to get ice. We didn't have to expose people out of the, into really hard conditions, into really low temperatures just to get ice. Now we have a factory. Now we can produce this one. But still, this was not enough. So people say, okay, how can we make it even simple? How can we evolve? How can we make the big jump to ICE 3.0? And these were the point where someone say okay, what if instead of having big ice factories, we just get down, we simplify a little bit, we reduce the size, and we try to put small ice factories in every single home. And that was the point where we know or where refrigerators were invented, right? So what is my point here? I want that now you all do the analysis and think about how your company is managing right now, right? Your documents. Who are you? Are you ICE 0.1, ICE 2.0, or ICE 3.0? Who are you? How do your documents are being handled? If you are document management ICE 1.0, it means that you still have big, massive storage locations where you have a lot of documents. If you have evolved, maybe not all your documents are now in paper, right? Maybe not everything is right in big storage sessions. Now you have been doing a good step. Or are you the ICE 3.0 on document management, where every single person can have access or can manipulate or can handle documents directly from their home? As easy as getting to the kitchen, open the refrigerator and getting ice is the way where you are. Now, if someone needs a document from you, it's as easy as anyone, anywhere in the world can just use their laptop, can they use their cell phones, can take a picture, can upload a document, or have systems that allow them to generate documents automatically. So we are seeing process evolution a lot. We are seeing that businesses are evolving, yes. But how are we evolving our documents? How are we managing them? And where do we want to get with this, right? So something that we identify and that we even realize and that it was even more clear for everyone was when no one was expecting a global pandemic and boom, there we go, right? 2020, everyone was working happy from home, and then one day and another one, boom, everything was broken, and many companies, right, that at that moment or at that time thought that they were ready to have digital business, right? Or to continue working anywhere in the world. They realized that it was not that easy. They realized that there was a lot of and hard manual processes that no one knew that they were still around. They realized that there was a lot paper-based processes that are still in place. And also they realized how important are documents in many type of processes and business situations. Some companies just realized when we went everyone to work from home that they were not fully digital business, that they have points on their business that were digital, but not an end-to-end, not a global view of the process, and that they were doing a lot of things digital, a lot of things automated, but then they got into a point that say, oh my God, now I need that a customer seeing this document or this format or this paper manually, physically. And everyone was locked down. Everyone was in their home. No one can get out. So how can I guarantee that my business continue operating without the need of having this person seeing this document face to face, right? So this is a big challenge. This is part of what we need. This is what companies are looking for. And that's why we need to just get into the point that is needed. So what are the main benefits of the document digitization, right? And I am going to use here to highlight those benefits that study that was conducted by Forrester, right? So what Forrester did is that they put together or they grouped together hundreds of companies and they start asking and maybe serving them a lot of information about document digitization, right? What is important? How do you see it? What are the big challenges that you have? How can document digitize help your organization? What are the main benefits that you see? And these are some of the ones that they identify. I am not going to go into all the details to all of them, but at least I want to highlight the first three because I believe that are really important and that it will help us to understand why this is so important. So from this study, they realized that the main benefit, the one that got the more score in terms of business benefits, was accelerating document processing, right? So what will happen if we don't have documents digitized, right? If all our documents are still paper-based? I don't know if you remember or if you had the opportunity many years ago, right, to face that problem when clinics or hospitals or any health space handle and manage historical medical information from patients in folders with paper, right? I don't know, I had to do it or I had to see it many, many years ago. And it was required for you to schedule your appointment with time. And one of the reasons that you have to schedule your appointment with time, it was because they had to go to big storage locations to find your historical clinical information that it was in a big folder before the doctor can actually go with you into an appointment. So now, if we are able to evolve that, if we're able to change that point, to take out all the document-based the processes or those paper-based documents, one of the first benefits that we're going to have is I'm going to accelerate the document processing. I am going to be able to, in a faster way, to search for documents, right? Classify them, filter them, send it to other areas, sharing with other people. I am much better in this point, right? The second main benefit that got the second greatest score over here was, of course, the improving employee collaboration, right? So one of the things that we identified at that moment or in this study was, you know what? Here, if I have my documents fully digital, if I am able to generate documents in a much easier way, one of the great things that I'm going to see is that I am going to be much better collaborating with my employees. If I have a document that must be processed or must be handled by 1, 2, 3, 4 areas at the same time, I know that my document can move in the same way that my process is moving. And that I don't need to just send one folder from the floor 10 to the floor 15 and then back to the 8 and then like that to just complete one process. So my employee collaboration is much better, right? And the third one that we have here and that we identify is definitely the increase of customer satisfaction. And I think this is a mantra for every single company, right? We need to work every single day to increase our customer satisfaction. And I don't know if you have faced this point, but I have the feeling that even now, when you go to anywhere, right? Doesn't matter if it is a restaurant, if it is a bank, if it is an insurance company, if it is a manufacturer company, and they give you something that you have to complete on paper, you feel weird. It's like, no way. How do I have to complete again this form in a document, in a paper, and complete all this information and finish one format that has 5 pages? And if I put bad my name in the page number 4, I have to start again. So these kind of situations make that customer doesn't feel as good as maybe you want it. But if everything is digital, if everything is faster, you are going to increase your customer satisfaction. That's for sure. One of the things, or one of the trending that we have seen maybe the last couple of years, right, with all these fintech organization, with the digital banks, right, for example, it's amazing that now, in the same way as you can go to your kitchen, open the fridge, and get ice, you can take your phone, download an app, complete a digital format in your form, and in 5 days, you can get a credit card in your house, right? That's simple. That is what we want. This is the kind of services that we want to provide for our users, right? Now, some of the other benefits, I'm going to just read it really quickly and maybe just highlight some of them. But some of them is definitely we're going to improve employee productivity and the time saving. We are going to enable document access, editing, and sharing while working remotely, right? Many companies face that when they were in lockdown, they cannot continue working because they have to go physically to the building to just access some documents. But now if it's digital, it doesn't matter where you are. You can work 100% remotely and access whatever you want, right? You can reduce the printing and the storage cost. I found this one even, I don't know, interesting, right? Because you cannot imagine how expensive it can be for a company to start to continuously print documents, right? Or even to storage those documents. I remember that I heard a story that some years ago in, I think it was in New York, because of the amount of paper that some companies were having in some buildings, right, in the basement, the fire department put them as high risk for fires, right? And these companies were it was required at the time that they actually take all those documents and split it in different places, in different locations, and even in some cases pay for storage locations outside the city. So printing and storage costs can be really high depending on the amount of documents that you are having, right? You can also improve your document tracking, you have data security and compliance, and you are going to have other benefits that for sure are going to be great for you, right? So now, what is our part? How Bizagi can actually get here in the middle and help you to define, generate, customize your documents, and get you on the track of digitizing documents, right? How can we do it? What we can do for you? And one of the ways and one of the features that we got over here, it is something that in Bizagi is called Bizagi document templates, right? One of the great advantages that we got with Bizagi document template is that these are flexible. You can do it in really quick steps. You can customize and you can put any image that you want, right? In order to understand this in more detail, one of the things that I want to highlight here is that remember that Bizagi is known for what? For one platform, every process, right? So all this information, all the values and everything that you got over here, it doesn't matter the type of process that you are working. It doesn't matter if it is an easy one, if it is a complex one, if it is a simple one that can be developed by citizen developers, or a complex one that requires maybe a full team. We are going to be able to cover all of that. And in this case of Bizagi document templates, This is one feature that we have available in the Bizagi Studio. That means it's something that we use when we're building and when we're automating our processes. And the way on how we can use Bizagi document template, it is following some simple steps. The first one, define the template. What do you want to include? What information you want to include on your template? It is going to be information from an employee. It is going to be information from an invoice. It is an evaluation of objectives. It is a purchase order. What do you want to generate? What information you want to add? What values you want to include? Which design you want to add, right? So the first step is going to be always to define your template. And the template in Bizagi can be defined in Word documents, Excel documents, PDFs, or even simple or plain text, right? It doesn't matter what your needs, you can create any template that you got over there. The second step, it will be, let's include that template into our Bizagi, then complete the configuration of that template, and finally, just include the template in any step of the process where you want to use it, right? Where you want to generate it automatically, right? So let's see this in detail, how it will work directly in our tool. And let me just clarify something. The generation of the document is just one of the things that you can do with the document in Bizagi. Once that you have it ready, you can do much more things, but we will talk about that one later. So how all of this is going to work for us, right? So let's start with the first step, that is, let's generate a template, right? So when I am saying that you must generate a template, what I mean is that you need to go to either Word, PDF, Excel, or a plain text and create this kind of format. What can you add here? Whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Do you want to add the logo of your company? Add it. Do you want to add a beautiful header? Add it. Do you want to add footer to just add information of the, address where your company is located? Add it. Do you want to have multiple pages? You can do it. Do you want to, let me just open you one on Excel. Do you want to just have one in a spreadsheet using table formats, formulas, whatever? Do it. You are completely free to generate the template and the format that you need. What are the kind of things that you need to take into account? You can type any information that you want. So if it is a contract, you can put all the contract. If it is an invoice, you can define the format of the invoice. If it is a purchase order, same. But what you must take into account and what it must be included is that every single part on this document where you want that Bizagi include or inject data must be included with something that we call document tags or template tags. And it is everything that you can identify as square brackets, right? Everything that you see as a square bracket in this document is because you are expecting that within the execution of your process, the process automatically put the data there for you. So what can you include here? Whatever you want. The only thing is it must be within a square brackets, and it doesn't have it cannot have a space in the name. That's why if you see here we have today's date, no space, full name of the customer, no space, but you can put any name that you want, right? Now, what happened if the data that you got, it is not just one simple record as today's date or the full name of the customer, but instead of that you have multiple records. In this example, you have multiple loans. That's fine. We can deal with loans, or we can deal with multiple records using for each and end, right? So it's like if we are saying to the template, hey, in this table, please take into account that you are not going to have just one. You are going to have multiple rows. How many? As many rows as are being added in the process. And the way and how we will know it is because we have a for each and we have an end. And that's it, right? This is the first step. What can you add? Whatever you want. Do you want to add pictures? Fine. You can also add a picture if you got a picture in your process. right? In this second example that I'm going to show you later, what we're going to have is that we're going to take the picture of the employee, right? And we're going to put it in just one form. So everything can be added. You can include whatever you want. So if you got beautiful or amazing designers in your company, use them. Create the formats, align the information, the logo, the colors, everything that is required can be added here to make the whole template to look as good as you want, right? And this is the first step. Once that you got that template ready, done, it has everything that you want, now you can go directly to add it into your Bizagi project, right? And here with Bizagi document templates, you have, let's say, two main options. You can decide if you want that the document is generated automatically without any human intervention, or you can decide if you want that that document is being generated by a human intervention. If it is by a human intervention, it means that what you are going to have is something in one of your forms, something in one of your screens. In this case, one button, like this one that when the end user clicks on generate documents, that is going to be the instance of time where the document will be generated. But if not, you can also do it automatically. I don't want that we have to wait for someone clicking generate document, and what I want is that it's automatically added. So what it will happen if my decision is that I need a human intervention? So when you are defining and when you are creating your Bizagi interface, right, the UI where end users will work, there is going to be one section that where you are going to find what is called as Bizagi controls. And within the Bizagi controls, you have actually one called document templates, right? Once that you select one of those document templates, take a look that it will automatically add it into your form, and then you can start doing the configuration. What is needed for you to have one of these documents automatically generated, produced, and customized? This is a document at the end, so it means we need to have a place in our database to store the document. So the first configuration that is needed is that I need to define exactly where I am going to store that document. In my data structure, in everything that I define as data that is relevant for me to store from this process, where I am going to save it. And what it will be important for me is that I need to save it in an attribute that must have a file type, okay? Once that you got this one, then you have a full configuration wizard. What kind of things we will have to do here? The first one, we need to upload the document template. It means you have to select your Word document, your PDF, your spreadsheet, or your plain text and upload it to Bizagi. In this way, now you got the document and the template already in your system, already in your project. And one of the things that you can do here is to review and to check if all the template tags has been identified successfully. So if you see here, I have a preview that is exactly the same document that I just showed you before, right? But also on the right side, I have this section where I got my template tags. And I can identify and verify that everything that I want to be added or to be included or data that I want to be injected into my document appears here. Once that I have that information added and that information into my point, then what I would like to do or what I have to do is to do the mapping. So how the mapping is going to work? Here it is going to be the point of my process where I am going to start saying, okay, if in my template or if in my document, I want to see the name of the customer, where I have that information. So that's why always you are going to find on the left side, the Bizagi data structure, and on the right side, the document template tags. And now how this works? Easy. You will start navigating all the information that you got, get into the data that is going to be important for you, that is going to be relevant for you, right? And once that you identify the information here, then what you are going to say is, okay, you know what? I need from the client the name. So I navigate everyone and then I just drag and drop full name of the customer. Now I need the comments, right? I am going to find where are the comments that maybe I am going to need. And once that I find the comments, I can also do click here and then click here, and the mapping is going to be done automatically. And I start setting up the information that I have in Bizagi to the information that I want to put on my document. Once that we finish this mapping in this particular point, you can define which is going to be the format that you want to use as to export, right? We have multiple PDF formats, or even if you select the same as the template, it means that if your template is a Word document, the generated one is going to be a Word. If it is a spreadsheet, it's going to be a spreadsheet. And that's it. Once that you have all the configuration complete, now you are going to be ready to actually go and see these documents working for you. So I'm going to show you here really quickly 2 examples of how end users are going to be able to see the information here, right? I am going to generate one document that will be a loan agreement. It is going to be a process where a customer can have the opportunity to go and register multiple loans, right? So I have the opportunity and I say, I would like to ask for a saving loan for, let's say, 10,000, and it's going to be for 12 months, right? And I add as many loans as I want. Now, there is going to be one point in my process where I am going to get into the moment where I can manually generate my loan, right? So if you take a look here, I already have here all the information from a client. Arthur Picosta is from Brazil, is a businessman, right? And also I have the information from all the different loans that he got, right? And at the same time, now I have here the option to click in the generate document to generate my document template. So once that me as an end user click on the generate document, I automatically will have the option to see how the document is going to look like. And this is the final result. So I have the template that I saw here that I showed you before, but now with all the information and the data complete. So now I have the current date, right? Now I have the name of the customer. Now I have, I think this one I generated yesterday. Let me generate a new one, for example, because if you saw the date was incorrect, was like March 8th. So I can click here, I can regenerate it, it doesn't matter. I can even define if I want to save or if I want to keep one document, multiple document, just the last one, whatever I want. In this case, I have the predefined configuration and I want to have as many as are generated. So I have now the second one. Let's open it again. Take a look. There you go. So now it's Thursday, March 10. I have the name of my client, the total amount that was requested, and all the information that you got over this. So this is in the case or in the example where I want that someone has a manual intervention to generate the document. But I can also have another one, and is I don't want the manual intervention. I want that the document automatically generated by itself and use all the information that we already have. So how that works? I have here another process that is a simple vacation leave request. So this is a process that can be used from any employee of any company. And I say, yes, I want to request my vacations. I am going to get out, or my last day at the office will be tomorrow. And I am going to go back, I don't know, just on this one. That means that I'm going to ask for 10 days of holidays. And then my process move on. I have to go to the supervisor of this user. From Anna Brown, the supervisor is John Smith. So I go with John Smith. John Smith is going to say, yes, we are going to approve this request. And once that I approve the request without any human intervention at all, the document is generated, is added to the process, and now we have it ready. So if you see here now, I got this vacation request confirmation. I got the document here, And when I open, I have all the information now from Anna Brown. I have her picture. I have where she is located, her phone number, her email address, right? I have all the information of how many available days that she has, when is going to be the last day of work, when is going to come back, how many days she got approved. And I even have this document being sent through email directly through Anna Brown. So my document is generated. I customize everything that I want. At the same time, this is now a document that is part of my process. And as it is part of my process, I can do whatever I want with that document. Do I want it to send it through email? I can do it. Do I want to have an integration with an external system to store it in an ECM system? I can do it. Do I want to use OCR technologies to read or extract information from this format and then add it to another process? I can do it. So this Bizagi document template allows you to create your template, define any detail that you want, add beautiful designs, logos, images, whatever you want, facilitate the generation of the document, and at the end, add all these documents fully digital to your processes. And then it will be up to you what you want to do with them. Okay? So these are some examples of documents that were generated directly in a PDF, right? I have another one here. It is something that was generated completely from a spreadsheet, right? Everything here, this was a format that we were using for evaluate some offerings, right? And we can actually use all the power from the spreadsheets. Everything that we want, we can just add it over here. So this is everything that I have for you today in our Process Professor session, right?